Beautiful. Thank you. I'm going to open up my chat box too, just in case. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the July edition of Check It Out. I'm so glad you guys took a breather to join us today. And for those of you that do not know me, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to you. My name is Janeé Jackson-Doering. I'm the Youth Services Consultant with the State Library of Iowa. There's my contact info at the bottom. You can reach me by phone or email. Please reach out if you have youth-related questions, issues, concerns. A lot of people that have seen me, they know I love to bring books to you. So when I make visits, I bring a goodie bag of books for you to keep. So please reach out if you have any youth-related questions or concerns. And these are some of the things that brought me joy for this month in July. The first picture is of me with the Reading Rainbow t-shirt. Take a look, it's in a book. I mean, who doesn't love Reading Rainbow? I found this shirt at Temu and it was for like $8. But I love the Reading Rainbow shirt, so that brought me joy this month. Another thing that brought me joy, that top picture in the middle, I went to Erickson Public Library, and they have every month their eighth annual Ericon. And it's just a mini library con inside their library. This was their eighth annual one. And they had different types of vendors. They had vendors on two floors. They had comic book artists, prizes from Mayhem. They had a costume contest for kids, teens, and adults. And that picture there is the picture of some of the kids that competed in the kids costume contest. And the Joker, Mr. Joker, won first place. So it's very cool to see that engagement. Just a lot of comic book fun. It was a great time. And that bottom picture below, the third thing that brought me joy was I have always wanted a chase lounge. And I found one on Amazon, and that is our new chase lounge. And I've created a little reading nook. It's still in the process. I'm still trying to work things out in the house. Being a new homeowner, we're learning a lot. But always wanted to have a reading nook and a chase lounge. And that is our chase lounge. And it's comfy. It is very comfy. Alex Hansen says, yes, yes, indeed. So those are the three things that brought me joy. And it is a yes, Beth, it's very comfortable. So those are the things that brought me joy in July. And I hope you're finding something in this busy summer reading season that makes you pause and make sure that you find that joy as well this month. And if you're new to check it out, I just want to say a reminder for those that are new, or if you're a veteran and that you've been coming to check it out all this time. Check it out. It spotlights a range of books for readers ages 0 to 18. And here we review a lot of sources here at the State Library to bring you a variety of titles, but we want you to know that you know your collection best, you know your community best, and you are always the final decision maker on what titles will work best for your library. So here we go. We got a lot to cover today. So our plan, we're going to cover storytime standouts. Storytime standouts are the best books to use for story times, and I have 5. Count them, 5 this go round. We have early readers. We'll cover second and third grade chapter books, picture books and board books. I also threw in a Halloween roundup this time around because summer is kind of like the season of Summerween, Halloween. So I wanted to get some Halloween books on your radar. Children's nonfiction, middle grade fiction, teen fiction, graphic novels, and what I'm reading and upcoming events. Okay, so we're going to start with storytime standouts. Simply put, these are the best books to use for story time. The first selection is called A Scrub in the Tub. This is written and illustrated by Jan Thomas, and Jan Thomas is a storytime staple. And this is about Rabbit and Weasel. Rabbit and Weasel know that their pal Pig needs a scrub in the tub. There's just one problem. Pig does not like baths. Pig is literally yelling, "But I don't like a scrub in the tub." So Pig tries every alternative to avoid taking a bubble bath, from taking a single splash to rolling in a mud bath and covering the pig in leaves. But alas, that stink still persists, and Rabbit and Weasel don't want Pig to join them in the sweet-smelling shrub. But once Pig sees the pretty bubbles and feels that the water is divine, that's literally what the word is in bold letters, divine, Pig scrubs with the scrubber and becomes a pink, squeaky clean pig again. The end of the story shows all of the animals asking to join Pig for a scrub in the tub. This is a cute, rhyming, engaging book that would be fun for a bath story time theme or for preschool or for family story time. Super engaging. The next selections are board books from Caring Cats. Both of these books, Pika Baby and Zoom Zoom Baby, these books are reissues with sturdier board pages. These were originally published in 2007, and they're getting a fresh makeover this time around. And these are perfect for your next baby story time. Both of these books offer illustrations that are colorful. Again, those board book pages are thick and sturdy. With Pika Baby, the baby is hiding under different things. So this page says, "Who's under the umbrella? Is that you?" And you lift the umbrella flap and it says, "Peekaboo, I see you." Each spread has 1 to 3 sentences on each side with the flap on the right, as you see in the photo. So babies and caregivers can find baby hiding under a ball, under a hat, behind a green curtain, outside behind the laundry before finding the baby under a teddy bear at the end. So uh, it says, "Who's behind the teddy bear? I wonder who. It's someone very special. Peekaboo you." Um, One thing to know with these peekaboo concepts where you can play peekaboo with a child. Um, Playing peekaboo with babies is important because it teaches object permanence. You're probably thinking, what is object permanence? It is a baby's understanding that objects and people continue to exist even when they're out of sight. So this understanding typically develops between 4 and 7 months of age. So when a parent plays peekaboo, when a parent hides their face and then reveals it, babies learn that things don't simply disappear when they can't be seen. When caregivers play peekaboo repeatedly, they learn to anticipate the reappearance. So these books are very important to teach that concept of object permanence with Pika Baby. Zoom Zoom Baby has all different kinds of vehicles that to find baby. The picture there is of a baby in the plane. It says, "Is baby in the plane?" And then you lift the flap. It says, "No, it's a cuddly teddy bear." So baby and caregiver have to look at different vehicles to find the baby at the end. The next book is called Recess. This is written and illustrated by Lane Smith. This received starred reviews in School Library Journal and in Kirkus. This is an interactive story where the kids learn about each part of the school day. It begins at school. We read, we write, we learn, we study. It's pretty fun, says Lane. Even so, everyone needs a break sometimes, right? And so it is with repeated typographic bellows of recess. So once it's time for recess, the kids have to move a certain way. I put this picture down there where it says, "Recess, everyone shake your hands, shake your legs, everyone shake your booty, and stop." End of recess. So throughout the story, kids are learning, are just having fun interacting. So after gym class, they have to pretend to bounce balls in the air. After media time, they have to pretend to type as fast as they can in the air. They have to yell bananas and more. This is a perfect story for the kindergarten, third grade crowd. It looks like Jonathan used it today. She said, just read this for story time today. The kiddos loved it. Yes. I wanted to share another picture. Here's some other images from the book. So the teachers having everyone type in the air, type faster, faster. Or the other part of recess, everyone make trombone sounds with your mouths. Everyone slap your lap like a drum, or stomp your feet like you're in a marching band. So it's very interactive, very engaging. And at the very end, there's a calming session where the teacher says, everybody take a deep breath and let it out, which is perfect to get all those kids that are wild up to calm down, to stop and take that deep breath and let it out. A winner for story time. And moving right along, this is a new book that's coming out. It's called Oh Dear, Look What I Got. This is written by Michael Rosen and illustrated by Helen Oxenbury. This is charming. This is going to be released on September 2nd. A young boy goes from shop to shop requesting a series of perfectly reasonable items. The child wants a hat, a coat, a cake, a chair, but instead of getting those items, he's thwarted every turn with a growing menagerie of different items who follows the child wherever he goes. It has the repetitive refrain. I went to the shop to get me a carrot. Oh dear, they gave me a parrot. Oh dear, look what I got. Do I want that? No, I do not. The picture right here on the screen says, I went to the shop to get me a cake. Oh dear, they gave me a snake. Oh dear, look what I got. Do I want that? No, I do not. Uh, the use of onomatopoeia is wonderful in this story with the repetition of sounds. You could have the kids repeat the line, oh dear, or have them yell, no, I do not. So that interaction is there and engagement is there. You could also pair this story with Dear Zoo by Rod Campbell for a silly animal guessing story time. So look for Oh Dear, Look What I Got. Okay, we are going to move. I just want to make sure I got everything. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure I had all those books for you because there were a lot. We are going to move to early readers. Here we go. We have a new series on hand for early readers. This is the Mouse and Spoon series. This is written by Cynthia Rylant and illustrated by Jana Mattia. And the first book to your left is called Owlets and Tarts. That book received a starred review from School Library Journal. And in this series, you meet Ginger, Tom, and Piper, three relative mice who love to bake. And in this book, Mom and Dad Owl are exhausted. Why are they exhausted? Because they have three little owlets at home that will not go to sleep. So the three mice get together and they bake these little like tart pillows for the owlets to sleep on. And they finally go to sleep. The second book to your right is Rabbit Tea, and that's going to be released August 26th. And in Rabbit Tea, a rabbit needs help. They're throwing a tea party, but they don't have any treats. So the rabbit requests the mice to help save the day and bring treats. I wanted to show you a picture of what the scenes look like. This is from Rabbit Tea, and the illustrations are engaging. They're pastel colored. They're very charming. The mice are fun and active. I love how the text is big and there's simple sentences and they're repetitive sentences. So at the top it says, where the rabbit jumped, Tom jumped, which make Piper jump, which made Ginger jump. This is what happens when a rabbit is around. So it's very fun, very cute. So grab the Mouse and Spoon series. And we have a series alert. If you see that yellow alert, that means we have a series alert. This is the Bat, Cat, and Rat series. Their next book is called A Great Fall. This is written by Amy Dykman and illustrated by Mark Teague. This is the fourth book in the Bat, Cat, and Rat series. And in this tale, there are again three stories. The first story is raking. In raking, falling leaves make for extra chores. And of course, the animals, while they're doing these chores, get into pranks. The second story, pickling or picking, each member of the trio has their own unique idea of what makes the perfect pumpkin. And in costuming, the roommates, because they're all roommates, Bat, Cat, and Rat, they each work on their costume creations in secret. And the big reveal brings a big surprise. I love these books. They're fun, engaging. The illustrations from Mark Teague are always charming and fun. Make sure you grab A Great Fall. Moving right along, we've got Elena Camps. This is written and illustrated by Juan Medina. This received a starred reviews in School Library Journal and in Kirkus. And Elena, the purple elephant, is excited because the big box that she has arrived. And Elena is excited because she's putting together a tent so she can go camping. So the tent parts are flying everywhere, and she's emptying the contents and dives right in to start putting the tent together. And she thinks this job will be done in no time. But gaboing and gabunk. Oops, Elena forgot the poles. A little tug here might help, but nope, gaboing. And now she's just trying to figure this out, and she's stomping mad. She is mad and frustrated because Elena just knows that she can build this tent. She knows she'll be done in no time. But the little red bird that's a little red bird that's flying nearby says, "Hey." And Elena says, "What are you trying to say?" The bird is trying to tell Elena there's a folded paper that came with the tent. And so Elena uses that ability to calm down, to gather herself and put the tent together. So it's teaching kids to slow down and try again. I love the simple sentences. The illustrations are fun. You can see her frustration. I mean, it's just an engaging book. So grab Elena Camps. Our next book is Hello Sun. This is written by Layla Watkins with the help of the Seuss Studios. This is a charming beginning reader or early reader, and this received star reviews from School Library Journal. This shows all the ways Norbit the worm, the sun, and their friends play together. Um, they say, "I can jump," says Norbit. "Me two, me three, me four. Whee!" Butterfly can sing, sun can hide. All of the animals and things get together to play. They also blow bubbles, they catch baseballs, and play on the slide and swings and watch the clouds float by. And that's cool because the clouds are made to images of unicorns, an alligator, a hat, a cat, etc. They swim, listen to a story, and they look at rainbows. And at the end, the animals say goodbye to the sun. "Goodbye, sun. We'll see you soon." And Norbit then greets the moon. Sounds of each activity are in bold print. So like this picture that says, "I can blow bubbles." They're in bold print. Bloop, 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 that word. And like there's a sound where the whoosh, where there's a whoosh when they're playing with the hula hoop. You can feel the sound with the bold print. There's 1 to 3 very short sentences on each spread. This is perfect for kindergarten through first grade readers. And Alex says that cover is giving Teletubby vibes. Love it. That's awesome. We're going to move now and switch gears to second and third grade chapter books. And I am so excited for this new series. I read this on NetGalley. They were giving away 100 copies to read for people to read and review. And this is awesome. This is Jasper Rabbit's Creepy Tales, Troubling Tonsils. This is written by Aaron Reynolds and illustrated by Peter Brown. This is going to be released on September 2nd, and this received a starred review in Publishers Weekly. This is a new chapter book series that blends humor and scares perfectly for that second to fourth grade crowd. The story begins with Jasper Rabbit, and he's on your left side of your screen. And Jasper Rabbit is kind of mimicking a Rod Serling kind of look from the Twilight Zone. And even in the beginning pages, he has that introduction. He says, Charlie Mammoth, your average run-of-the-mill large furry rodent, doesn't know that his tonsils are infected. On the last week of October, Charlie's tonsils are going to do more than infect his throat. They are going to infect his life. So that's how he opens up the story. And Charlie complains of his throat. He thinks he keeps coughing, and he's just not feeling good. And after a checkup from the doctor confirms that Charlie needs a tonsillectomy, Charlie's worried. But Charlie asks the doctor if he can keep his tonsils in a jar after they're removed to show his class for a show and tell. The doctor's puzzled by this idea and reluctantly says yes. So fine, no problem. They go home. But the next day, when his mother and Charlie arrive at the hospital for the surgery, the doctor says the tonsils are gone. So that's a picture of the doctor and the mom looking inside Charlie's tonsils. So where did they go? Charlie is going to find out. The illustrations by Peter Brown are fun. They're expressive. This text has short chapters, and this was a very fun, quick read. In the back of the book, it does say other titles that are coming in the series. The second book is going to be Unsettling Salad, which I love that cover. I love the green, the neon green. That's going to be released on February 3rd, 2026. In Unsettling Salad, this is the premise. They gave you a short premise. In this one, Thaddeus is a typical badger. He and his friend Oliver Possum love burgers, and they love burgers, but they don't like to exercise, and they don't like eating veggies. But when they make a deal with their parents, with Oliver's parents, to eat an entire salad, the chompers might become the chomped. They're describing this as a creepy tale. After all, even if the healthiest things can turn on you. The book to your right, which is going to be called Yarn is Everything, they're keeping that one, the premise on that, under wraps. But it looks like that Simon & Schuster they're expecting to release this title in summer of 2026. So get these on your radar. And Nicole says, yarn, in fact, is everything. I love it. The next book on my list is a series alert. We have another series alert. It's My Weird School Special Fright Night, written by Dan Gutman and illustrated by Jim Palliot. Excuse me. In this edition, fourth grader AJ and his friends are having a sleepover in the playground by Elementary School. You get that? Ella, E-L-L-A, Elementary School. So funny. After roasting marshmallows with their teacher, Miss Banks, and hearing a boring song from Uncle Fred, who's serving as a chaperone, the kids, which are Ryan, Alexia, Michael, Andrea, Neil, Emily, and AJ, all get a turn to make up a silly, scary story. But while they're telling scary stories, they're kind of wondering, what is that that's lurking in the woods? Young kids that are just starting to get into chapter books, they're going to get ready for some zany stories with lots of humor, little fright. So it's just that right amount of fright for that age range. It is accompanied with black and white illustrations and fun. There's also a section in the back on how to create your own spooky story, a printable Mad Libs, and more. Do you have to read this My Weird School in order? We have hit and miss in the series, not in the entire series. They are one shot stories, so they could read them in order if they want or standalones. So great question. All right, we are going to move to picture books and board books. Here we go. The first book is called This Moment is Special, a Dia de Muertos story. This is written and illustrated by John Para. This received starred reviews in School Library Journal and Publishers Weekly. This is about a young boy. He has makeup on his face, and him and his family are preparing for a Day of the Dead celebration. And he goes about his day. And while he's preparing for the celebration, throughout the day, he's remembering that all moments are special. The book starts out with, "It's early. My house sits quiet and still. Today holds a special promise. Una promesa especial," says the child. So the text at the top is in English, and then at the bottom, there's one sentence that's usually in Spanish that translates that part in Spanish. But readers see the child feeling close with his family, they're eating breakfast, they see the young boy enjoying school, and they see him being brave, going out on the stage. And then they see the child come home to celebrate Dia de los Muertos with the family. In the back of the book, there's an author's note that encourages kids to share their own special memories and to use their imagination and remember their own memories, special memories. This is a wonderfully illustrated book, perfect for a Dia de los Muertos display or a de los Muertos story time. The next book is called Pajamin. Um, This is inspired by the song Jammin' by Bob Marley, but this is by Ziggy Marley and illustrated by Leticia Moreno. And I have to admit, when I read this picture book, I was tempted to play the song Jammin' while I was reading the book, because the book is a very cute story. It's a cute story about a family that has a tradition of hosting a family pajama party sleepover at the house. And during the sleepover, they have a fun night with games, pillow fights, music, and stories. This is engaging, fun. This would be fun for a pajama themed story time for either preschool or for families. And maybe you can build a fort during it as well. So go grab Pajama. The next book is This Is How We Talk, a celebration of disability and connection. This is written by Jessica Slice and Caroline Cup and illustrated by Kayla Heron. This received a star review in School Library Journal. And this is a picture book that celebrates all the ways we communicate with each other. The first spread says we sign, write, clap, we tap, stim, scream. So many ways to talk and joke, play and learn and dream. So this is a rhyming picture book that shows all the ways we communicate. From a young girl using sign language to communicate to the doctor that her leg hurts, and then to this spread, and I want to show you this spread. This is to your right, is a picture of a young girl using adaptive technology to speak to her teacher. Children of all abilities communicate differently. The illustrations in this book are beautiful. To show that they're communicating, the illustrator used white lines that are painted around the child or adult to show how they're communicating to others. Some of the communication shown in the book includes eye gaze. One child uses a pod, which is a AAC method that uses pictures and words to facilitate communication. Hand signals, stimming, which is flapping hands. So there's all different ways that the children are using to communicate. The two authors, Jessica and Caroline, are both disabled parents. I appreciated that this book in the back matter has a kid-friendly guide to thinking, learning, and talking about disabilities, different types of disabilities, and how other kids communicate. There's a glossary in the back of the book that talks about the different disabilities represented in the story. There's also a guide for grown-ups on ways to encourage discussions about disabilities with children. And Denise Bean says, love this book. Yes, I love it too. It's beautiful. Uh, Our next book are series of board books. So there's two board books. The first one is Walk With Me, A Counting Adventure, written by Nancy E. Uslan, illustrated by Sydney Smith. That book received a starred review in School Library Journal. And this is just a brightly and boldly colored counting book that counts from 1 to 10. And it features jungle animals and rhyming text. Will you take a walk with me? We can count the things we see. The two children say this on their walking journey. So they see 9 yellow giraffes. Excuse me. Uh, these are two lizards. They see zebras, monkeys, and all different kinds of jungle animals. To your right, this black and white high contrast book is called What Does Baby See on the Farm? This is written by Mara Coleman and illustrated by Simon Abbott. And this is just a black and white high contrast book because babies, remember, they're still learning to see in those early weeks. And so these books, these high contrast books, are geared for babies to learn to focus their eyes while things still look blurry. So offering simple black and white images with a word at the bottom, it encourages kids to look and have healthy stimulation and building those eye skills and focus on visual exploration. So kids can learn about corn, scarecrow, the cow, rooster, all different types of animals and things on the farm. All right, I promised a Halloween picture book roundup, so here are some fun Halloween books coming your way. The first book is called Little Boo. This is charming. This is written and illustrated by Maddie Frost. This received a starred review in Publishers Weekly. Yes, Valerie's excited for Halloween. This is a delightful gem. It talks about the ups and downs of having a little ghost sister. Little Boo and the ghost would do everything together. But little Boo is starting to crawl and float and do annoying things, like jumping out of a cereal box to say boo. So the older ghost, decides to trade little Boo for little Howl, a wolf. And let's just face it, things get wild. Turns out little Howl loves to chomp and chew everything in the house. And once this happens, the older ghost decides to trade Howl back for little Boo. Great use of the Halloween colors in this book: purple, orange, greens, browns. The illustrations are darling, and little Boo is adorable. She has the voice of a toddler, and you hear her say, "Please" and "kitties." This is a cute addition to a Halloween collection. The next book is called The Zombies. This is written by Justin Colon and illustrated by Callie Quarles. This received a starred review in School Library Journal. This book has a swarm of zombies. Get it? Swamp zombies. They invade an unsuspecting town on Halloween night. Uh, the words say, when these undead insects invade, they send everyone fleeing in fright. Are they hunting for a snack? Do they like the taste of veins? Have they come to eat your brains? Funny. This is a repeated read aloud, fun for story time. The next book is called This Year a Witch. This is written and illustrated by Zoe Abbott. This also received a starred review in School Library Journal and in Publishers Weekly. And it's about this young girl. This young girl is tired of being cute. She's tired of dressing up in different things. Last year I was a bunny. The year before that I was a mouse. Ever since I was a baby, I have been utterly adorable. Ugh, whack. Those days are over because this year she wants to be a witch. And there's the picture of her being all the different things as a young kid. And this year she's determined to be a witch. And it is engaging and fun. The book down below is called Happy Halloween, part of that Happy series with the P's, that's written and illustrated by Keith Baker. The book below is a rhyming book, and it's asking kids what they want to be for Halloween. And so the P's are showing what they're going to be for Halloween. They could be a wicked witch with a pointy hat, a ghost, a goblin, or the witch's cat. So each P is dressed up in fun costumes, and that spread shows them building the jack-o'-lantern at the bottom. And I love the pictures of the different pumpkins. So not too scary for young kids, but still engaging and fun. Moving right along, we're going to keep it moving because we have children's nonfiction on tap. Here we go. All right, our first book is called Winter. This is part of a series called Seasons of the Year. This is written by Karen Bishner, and this is from Capstone Publishing. The seasons are changing, they're always changing, and maybe you might have a need to update your season's nonfiction books. So I grabbed this book. This is Winter, and the chapters, or sorry, not the chapters, but the sections are short. I really appreciated that they had short sections with simple chapters that, or simple paragraphs that kids could read. The grade levels through first through second grades. But some of the sections include animals in winter, animals and plants in winter, why the days are short, things to do in winter. So they break them up in those sections for kids. So they're learning all about what happens during that season. And the cool thing is that the vocabulary words are in bold for kids to learn those words. With the winter book, there's a melting ice experiment in the back of the book where kids can experiment with different kinds of things to understand how ice melts and what would make ice melt. Um, in each book, there is a glossary with the terms. There's internet sites for further study as well. Um, I wanted to make sure I put the hardcover and the paperback ISBNs on here because budgets are tight. I totally understand that. So I wanted to add both the hardcover and paperback ISBNs so that way you guys could have a choice. So there are other books in the series, so there's spring, summer, and fall as well. So take a peek when you get a chance at the Seasons of the Year series. The next book is called We Need to Talk About Divorce, an important book about separation, step families, and feeling heard. I put roughly 6th through 9th grades for this book because it geared more towards that crowd. This is written by Kate Scharf and illustrated by Anika LaLarge. This did receive starred reviews in School Library Journal and Kirkus, and this is a pretty resourceful book. The author, Kate Scharf, is a child of divorce. Her parents were divorced at a young age, and she now serves as a divorce therapist. So she addresses many concerns that kids have, such as navigating two homes, life in two homes, feeling pressure to choose sides, how to tell your parents if transitions aren't working out. She also answers the question of why couples divorce, reacting to news of a couple divorcing. And on the page, on each page, there's a little sidebar that has information to explain those topics with tweens. And I really appreciated the section on where she says it's not your fault. And she reassures young people in the book that whatever the reason why parents decide to divorce, that the children are not at fault. And I think that needs to be said more to reassure youth that. Um, she also explains that, parents might have a hard time explaining why they're divorcing as well. Um, there's, like, again, sidebar panels of information are appropriate and they address each section. Um, it does not, I don't think it talks, if I remember right, I don't remember it talking about second divorces, Valerie. But it's just mostly just navigating life in a divorce and what to expect. That's a great question. A glossary and index are included in the back of the book. But thank you for the question, Valerie. The next book is called Disasters. This is published by Scholastic, and this book is jam-packed with infographics, lots of cool photos and sidebars to understand different types of disasters. The contents of the book are broken into segments. So it covers disastrous weather, unstable earth, threats from space, how people cause disasters, and water. Kids can learn about everything about tornadoes. They can read facts about storm chasers, wildfires, tsunamis, monsoons, earthquakes, earth scientists and their role, and even asteroids and how they impact, and solar storms. This is roughly geared for second to fifth grades. So it kind of reminds me of those DK published books. So it's kind of in that format. But I wanted to show a picture just to show you what it looks like on the inside. Very eye appealing, very engaging. So take a peek. Moving right along, we are going to move to middle grade fiction. Here we go. The first book is called Candle Island. This is written by Lauren Wolk, and this received a starred review on Publishers Weekly. This is getting a lot of buzz, especially with the School Library Journal's Mock Newbery. A lot of people have recommended it for that. This is a historical fiction, kind of a mystery novel, and it blends the two very well. In the late 1960s, it's this 12-year-old girl, Lucretia, or Lucy. Lucy and her mother, they moved from New York to Candle Island, Maine. It's a fictional town. Population in the summer, it's 986. In the winter, it's very small. But they flee to Candle Island to escape. And they are escaping memories of the car accident that killed Lucretia's father, who was a professor. They're also evading the journalists that are hounding her mother, who's a famous and reclusive painter. When they arrive to the island, they're not exactly welcomed. Murdoch, who is a tween girl of the island, is a bully to Lucretia. And just the townsfolk in general, they get mad when the summer people come to stay. So there's a little bit of a feud there. But the change of scenery is good for Lucy because she paints, she dedicates her summer days to painting, exploring the island. She finds an orphaned osprey chick, and she tends to a lost cat. Um, and she also has the friendship of Bastion. She also meets her cousin, and the island has secrets. And she's learning that Island has secrets of its own. There's a hidden room in her house. There's a mysterious boy with a lovely voice. This is a pretty good read. It really discusses love, family, grief, and personal expression. So grab Candle Island. Moving right along, we have another series alert with The House with No Keys, the Delta Game series. This is book 2, written by Lindsay Curry. This is going to come out September 30th. In the last book, Sarah, Hannah, and West, they are escape room pros. They made it through an epic fun house in the first book. They found a treasure, and they saved Sarah's home from foreclosure. In the sequel, a year has gone by. The trio, which is now called the Deltas, they're known for solving escape rooms. They are now eighth graders, and they are helping Mr. William Taters of with the Delta House, which is the very same fun house that they found the treasure in. The trio are hanging out at a cafe when they receive a mysterious invitation from this creepy owner of a new fun house, which is called the Mystery Mansion. And it's claiming to be the best escape house ever. And it's opening just miles away from the Delta house, or the Delta game, excuse me. Um, the owner has invited them to come test it on opening day, offering $10,000 if they can successfully escape. Sarah knows the Delta game could use the money. So the three of them decide to enter the mansion that's filled with puzzles and games, but their secrets abound in this book. If you have fans that love escape room books, then this will fit the bill. We have another series alert, and I am excited for this book. This is the track series from Jason Reynolds. He is coming out with a new book, and it is called Coach. This is coming out October 14th. Um, this is about the coach this time. So it's before Coach was the man who gave caring yet firm guidance to Ghost, Lou, Patina, and Sunny on the Defenders track team. He was little Odie Brody. This is the premise, who was obsessed with Carl Lewis and Marty McFly from Back to the Future. Odie was a sprinter. His motto is sprint free or die. But his dad, who's always away on business trips, comes home with a pair of Jordans. They are so cool. And Odie feels like he could fly on the moon because he loves those Jordans. But one morning he wakes up to find his brand new secret weapon shoes are missing right off his feet. But Odie has kind of a fuzzy memory of his dad easing them off as Odie is sleeping. But that can't be right, right? But when he wakes up, not only are the Air Jordans are gone, his father is gone too. That is the premise of this story. I was reading the press release, and I am so excited once this book comes out. This is going to be popular, so make sure you grab the Coach for Track Series Book 5. And Marsha's right. Yes, the books do go out like crazy. I agree. All right, we're going to move to teen fiction. Here we go. There we go. I have one book in teen fiction that you need to get on your radar. And I have a couple more teen in the one I'm reading, but uh, Sarah Dessen has announced a new teen romance called Change of Plans. And this is big because she's been on a 7-year hiatus, apparently. The press release mentioned that Finley, the character in this book, Finley has always felt comfortable in someone else's shadow. Finley has Colin, her magnetic boyfriend, for activities and future plans. And then after graduation, Finley winds up on a last-minute trip with her distant mom to a family vacation house that Finley didn't know existed. And since her mother has been estranged from her own parents and siblings since leaving home for college, it's kind of a novelty for Finley to see her aunts and cousins and to meet the handful of teens who work at the Egg, her aunt's diner. And they make up a kind of a found family of their own. And at the diner, there is handsome guitarist Ben. With Finley and Colin, their relationship kind of goes into a free fall, and Finley kind of doesn't know what to do. Her vision for life after high school with Colin kind of goes out the window. So the first time in her life, she really doesn't have plans. And so Finley gets to know her relatives better, and she learns the truth about why her mother stayed away all those years and why she's brought Finley here now. And so she gets to know her mother more, the teens at the Egg, and she might be falling for Ben. Um, this is going to be a big, big book, especially if you have fans of Sarah Dessen. You want to make sure you have this on your shelf. We got some graphic novels and manga, and I'm going to try to go through these as quickly as I can. So we have another series of you alert with Unico Hunted Volume 2, written by Satine and Tezuka. This is the second book in the kids manga series. And in this story, Unico awakens in an abandoned factory town. He's saved by a resourceful mouse, Garapachi, and Unico also befriends Chico, a human girl. But in this story, Unico is learning that a sinister force is at work in the town's factory that's bent on killing all living things. And meanwhile, Venus has to stop Unico. Um, Very engaging. I love the artwork in the first book. If you have fans of the first book, you want to make sure you grab Unico Hunted Volume 2. We also have Free Piano. This is Free Piano Not Haunted. It's a middle grade book by Whitney Gardner. And this is a kids indie next pick for this month. This is about a young girl named Margot. She's a young aspiring songwriter who finds a secondhand piano in Cascade Cove, but it has a sign and it says not haunted on it. So she's curious and she takes the piano and she finds that yes, it is haunted by Vision, a former teen pop idol from 1979. Margot wants to be a singer-songwriter, but Vision is saying, slow down. There's some things you need to know. And together that these girls form a bond fueled by their share of music. This was fun to read. It really talks about the price of fame and what it all entails because Margot wants to be big on social media and Vision's trying to tell her there's more to life than just getting likes on social media and wanting fame. Next book is How to Talk to Your Succulent. This is a middle grade pick written and illustrated by Zoe Persico. And this received star reviews on School Library Journal. This is about 11-year-old Adara. She has never felt so distant from her father. Her mother, Marlo, a well-known plant whisperer, passed away, and so the dad and the daughter moved from sunny California to cold, snowy Michigan to live with her father's mother. Adara's father does not talk about his wife. He's been impossible to talk to, and he's grieving in his own way. And Adara's mother loved talking to plants. And Adara realizes that she can talk to the purplish pink succulent named Pearl and the other plants that her father brought from California. But Adara doesn't really know that Pearl needs her to take care of her too. The illustrations are gorgeous. I wanted to show a picture of them. They're just very vibrant and colorful. I love when Adara is mad, there's red vines to show that she's mad, or if she's anxious, there are green spiky vines to show that she's anxious. This book really deals with themes of grief and growth. There's also information in the back on how to propagate a succulent in the back of the book. This Place Kills Me is a teen LGBTQ graphic novel. This received starred reviews in School Library Journal, and it's coming out August 19th. Uh, this takes place through letters, diary entries, and news articles, and it's about Abby Kita. She's a new transfer student to Wilburton Academy. It's an all-girls prep school, and this is kind of like in late 1990s, or sorry, I should say early 1990s, and she sticks out like a sore thumb. She just finished watching the school's production of Romeo and Juliet, and it was put together by members of the Wilburton Theatrical Society, aka the WTS. They are an elite group that hold a secret, and it's kind of a dirty secret. At the cast party, Abby bumps into one of the stars, Elizabeth, who played Juliet, and she is gorgeous. Um, so she talks to her for a little bit, but the next day, Elizabeth is found in her Juliet costume and she's dead on campus grounds. The police thinks that just, Elizabeth commits suicide, but Abby knows her better. With help from her distant roommate slash school reporter Claire, both of them find out the truth about what happened that night and why past and present students are hiding the secret about the theatrical society. This was hands down awesome. And I loved Mariko's last graphic novel, Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me from 2019. This had me twisting and turning, and this goes in twists and turns that I did not expect. It's realistic, very, very awesome writing, very cool illustrations. Check it out. With a couple minutes left, I've got what I'm reading, and I'm going to go as fast as I can. Wow, we have a lot. The first book to your left, top left, is Best of Both Worlds. That's a teen novel written by Kenneth Oppel. This received a starred review in School Library Journal. It's a survival thriller about a teen named Xavier who's obligated to spend the week in the woods with his father and his father's new pregnant wife. The only problem is when Xavier wakes up the next day, the house isn't the same as before. And when the three go outside to explore in the woods, they find themselves trapped inside a dome. And 3 years go by of this family inside a dome. And the crazy thing is that 3 years later, another family arrives at the house. Laura, the book that I was referencing is How to Talk to Your Succulent. So thank you for the question. Um, with Best of All Worlds, this teen novel really delves into speculative fiction and kind of a cause and effect with psychological suspense. The book down below is called, there's a teen graphic novel called Flip that is starred with by Publishers Weekly, Kirkus, and School Library Journal, and that's written and illustrated by Ngozi Ukatu, who wrote Check Please. If you haven't read that series, it's awesome. It's about Chi Chi. She's a shy scholarship student who develops a crush on the most popular boy at school, Flip Henderson. She's black, he's white. And there's a Freaky Friday situation going on because there's an unexpected body swap with him after his humiliating prom proposal. So he kind of sees things through her eyes. She sees things through his eyes. I can't wait to get into this because I got a review or a free copy of it on NetGalley. At the top is You Wish. That's book two from the You Wish series, and then the book is called Wishborn. That's also written and illustrated by Jeff Victor. This is a continuation of book one. Avery's wish has been granted. She's found her genie mother. She's found a friend named Griblet. And now Griblet, who's this little creature, he's being captured by a menacing creature called the Shadow Spinner. And it's up to Avery to go back into the world in this lamp world to rescue him. The first graphic novel was fun for kids, and I can't wait to get my hands on this. It's on hold for me. Down below, there's two adult fiction titles that I'm reading, that I'm going to read. Culpability just got put on hold for me. I'm going to pick it up today. This is written by Bruce Holsinger. This is Oprah's book club for this month, but it's about a family. They are riding in an AI minivan and it collides with an oncoming car. And the 17-year-old son is in the driver's seat. And all of the family members have some like obsession with AI, especially the wife, because she's a leader in the field of AI. And so each family member harbors a secret, and then implicates them in this accident. And this book, it tackles the ethical consequences of AI. So I can't wait to read that. The other book is Killer on the Road, The Babysitter Lives. It's an adult horror novel. It's two books in one, written by Stephen Graham Jones. Both books have teen protagonists. With The Babysitter Lives, the Charlotte is a senior in high school studying for the SATs, and she realizes with the kids that she's babysitting, there is a ghost that's coming back to haunt her. With Killer on the Road, there is a teen who is running away from home, and her boyfriend and the girl's sibling stop her before she does because there is a serial killer that is targeting her and now the three of them. So that is all that I'm reading for this month of July. We have some upcoming events to get on your radar. August 13th, we're going to have Pop YS Live, the art and science of selecting storytime read alouds. That is going to be from 1 to 2 o'clock p.m. This is going to talk about how to really select good books for story times, whether it's for a baby story time or if you're reading to a group of elementary students. So that will be 1 to 2 o'clock p.m. And then we have a new webinar on August 14th. It is called Building Your Manga Library, Basics, Essentials, and Titles to Get Started. We will be talking with Sarah Smith, who is a librarian. She is a school district librarian in California, and she is also the blogger of the Graphic Library. She reviews mangas, and she has written over 1,000 manga reviews. And so she's going to talk about what titles you should have in your collection, how to get one started, light novels, and new mangas that you should have on your shelves. So you can register for both events on Workday Learning. Also, I want to say give a good shout out, a wonderful shout out to the June winners for our book prize pack giveaway, to Jill Clark, Marcia Kuntz, Denise King, Bridget Osborne, and Rachel Majerus. They all won a book prize pack for June. I will pick 5 winners for July's book prize pack giveaway. If you are a winner, we will send them after August 4th due to the Iowa Shares transfiguration. And that is all I have. Oh my gosh, 2 minutes. I 2 minutes. I am so sorry. I hope I didn't take everybody's time. I hope I didn't do too long, but thank you guys so much. We'll be back August 26th from 11 a.m. to noon. That was a lot of books.